Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome to my Should You Pull for Ultimecia's character event banner video. Now before we do start this video, I would just like to gently remind you guys, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button and leave a like on this video, especially if you do like the content that I am making. Now you guys may or may not know, if you are new to this channel, that I have recently reached my 1000 subscriber goal by the end of the year. Now seeing that I have reached this goal, I have decided to set a new goal for myself, which is to reach 1200 subscribers, which I think is kind of realistic. Now whether I reach this goal will ultimately depend on you guys, if you are enjoying the contents that I am making on this channel. But don't be pressured into subscribing to my channel, because ultimately I have reached my goal of getting 1000 subscribers by the end of the year, and this is just an extra goal I set for myself. Now it'll be great if I do reach it. If I don't, well, I won't feel too bad about it, you know, and there is the start of the year, and I am going to probably make a higher goal for myself next year. So with that out of the way, let's finally start this video. Okay, so let's start off with a returning EX weapon, which is going to be Squall's EX Sheer Trigger. Now equipping the Sheer Trigger will equip the EX ability Assault Trigger. Now Assault Trigger is basically an 8-hit melee brave plus HP attack, which also grants the Lionheart buff for 5 turns. This is a frame buff, and Lionheart raises the attack and the max brave based on the number of stacks that Squall has of Lionheart. However, Lionheart stacks cannot be increased by subsequent use of Assault Trigger uses, so basically you are stuck at 2 stacks at this point in time if you only have his EX weapon. This has a slightly slow recast speed, and if you are planning to limit break this at 1 out of 3, it will slightly raise the brave damage dealt by Assault Trigger. At 2 out of 3, you will get that Lionheart stack 2, as I mentioned earlier, instead of just Lionheart 1, and it extends its duration by 3 turns. And at 3 out of 3, it will slightly raise the recast speed of Assault Trigger. Alright, so now let's take a look at the EX Plus version, or the realized version of his weapon. Now this obviously will improve the EX ability of the Assault Trigger. At 0 out of 3 limit break, this will basically give Assault Trigger a max brave overflow of 150%. At 1 out of 3, it will slightly raise the recast speed again of Assault Trigger, and when you're using Assault Trigger, it will extend the duration of the current buffs by 2 turns. At 2 out of 3, it will finally grant you that Lionheart 3 instead of Lionheart 2, and when the quest starts, it automatically grants Squall a Lion 3 buffs for 8 turns. And finally, at 3 out of 3, when you're using Assault Trigger, it will deal a 6-hit melee brave plus HP attack before initiating the 8-hit brave plus HP attack, and this again will increase the total brave potency and moderately raising the max brave overflow limit of Assault Trigger. And the bonus sphere that you are going to be getting is called Break Hit Raging Boost, and basically when breaking a target or attacking a broken target, this will raise your max brave by 2%, and this can be done up to 5 times, so a max of 10%. Okay, so what do I think of Squall's EX Plus weapon? Well, in all honesty, it is underwhelming. It is the exact clone of Cloud's EX Plus weapon. And let me explain why. So we're gonna go through again with the effects that we get for Squall's EX Plus weapon. Now the first one is at 0 out of 3, the Brave Overflow, which is really nice for Squall because he doesn't have much that has overflow, only solid barrel, and now finally he gets another overflow ability, which Cloud gets with his EX Plus weapon, albeit in a higher max Brave Overflow at 180%. Now going down the list, at 1 out of 3, Assault Trigger will get another recast speed increase, which will make it to, I believe, normal recast speed, where Cloud's one is actually at slightly fast, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I am thinking how it all operates. So anyway, I do believe Cloud's one works a lot faster, or charges up a lot faster. Well, not a lot, but a step above. Now at the next one, at 2 out of 3, Squall gets a Lionheart 3 buff at the start of the quest, which Cloud has basically with his Mako buff. He starts off with the Mako buff for 6 turns, whereas I guess suppose, you know, 8 turns is longer, but I mean, does Cloud even lose the Mako buff at this point? His recast speed on his EX ability is really fast and you can just reapply it, so it's not a big deal. Now at 3 out of 3, it's the same as Cloud. It basically, Assault Trigger will hit twice. We'll do a 6-hit melee Brave plus HP attack, and we'll do the 8-hit melee Brave plus HP attack, which Cloud does as well with 2 of his meteors. The only big difference is Squall is targeting a single target, whereas Cloud will be doing an AoE damage. So can you guys see what I'm saying here, where they're pretty much identical, but it seems like Cloud is always just a tiny step above Squall? And not to mention that Cloud can actually paralyze the opponent and can also remove buffs from enemies with his I was gonna say Warrior of Light, with his World of Illusions weapon. So all in all, it seems like Cloud is going to be a step above Squall. Now that is very unfortunate, but I'm not saying Squall is not gonna be chaos viable. He will be. The only problem is there's just someone better next door. So yeah, that's what I think of Squall's EX Plus. A lot of negatives, but obviously his kit improves by a lot by having his EX Plus weapon. Plus he's, you know, gonna be really good at farming. You guys are not seeing this, but I have a big smile on my face. Anyway, let's move on to Ultimecia's EX weapon. Now Ultimecia's EX weapon is called Nightmare, and this gives you the EX ability Apocalypse. Now Apocalypse will raise the Brave based on initial Brave before the Brave hits, and it follows up with a 2-hit AoE Magic Brave plus HP attack, and this will moderately raise the Brave damage dealt on a single target. And the Stolen Brave can overflow up to 150% of her max Brave. HP damage is split equally amongst all enemies. This actually has no action delay, and it does not increase the turn count, and however it does decrease the friend support and summon action count. This will also grant the Griever's magic for 6 turns. It grants a special effect Junction Griever for 2 turns as well. Now Griever's magic will basically raise her max Brave and her attack. While Junction Griever is active, no action delay for all her abilities. Anything does not increase the turn count as well with all her abilities. However, this still does decrease the friend support count and the summon action count. This also has a slightly slow recast speed. Now if you're planning to max limit break it at 1 out of 3, this will slightly raise the brave damage dealt by Apocalypse. At 2 out of 3, it will slightly raise the recast speed of Apocalypse to slow now, and at 3 out of 3, it turns the HP attack to HP attack plus, which is a 3-hit AoE magic brave attack plus a single target HP attack. It moderately raised the brave damage dealt to a single target, and also there is an overflow of 120% of the max brave, and it increases the Maleficium stack by 2. Okay, now let's take a look at her EX Plus version. Now this obviously will improve the EX ability Apocalypse. At 0 out of 3 when she is using Apocalypse, it moderately raises the max brave overflow limit of Apocalypse and will turn HP attack plus to HP attack plus plus, just slightly raising the max brave overflow limit of her HP attack plus plus. At 1 out of 3 when she's using Apocalypse, this increases the number of brave hits to 4 from 2 and will tremendously raise the total brave potency of Apocalypse as well. At 2 out of 3, when the quest starts, she will be granted the Griever's magic buff for 6 turns. And finally, at 3 out of 3 when she's using Apocalypse, it doesn't consume the ability she uses on the next turn. And of course, if you do max limit break her EX Plus weapon, you do get a bonus sphere, which is full HP critical guard down. So this is basically when her HP is max and a critical hit occurs. It inflicts a 30% defense down debuff for 6 turns. However, the same spheres do not stack, and this is a type E sphere. So what do I think of Ultimecia's EX Plus weapon? Well, in all honesty, it just adds quite a lot of things for Ultimecia. Even her EX is already pretty good, which, doesn't consume a turn count. And now with the EX Plus weapon, obviously, it doesn't consume an ability use on the next turn. So whatever ability she uses, yeah, it's a free ability basically. And having Griever's magic there at the start of the fight as well, it generally helps when a character starts off with their special buffs, which increasing their attack and max brave obviously is really going to help. And HP attack plus plus is definitely gonna help with her longevity. Now, it's actually very hard to explain what this EX Plus really does for Ultimecia's kit without obviously explaining a lot of her abilities and of course her kit altogether. But if you are kind of curious as to what she does, I highly recommend visiting DissidiaDB.com. It is my biggest resource when it comes to making my videos. And let's just say with this EX Plus, her longevity is really going to be insane. So I highly recommend, if you are going for Ultimecia, to max limit break her EX Plus weapon. Okay, so we are finally at the end of this video, and of course I'll give you guys some reasons why you should pull for this, and some reasons, maybe if I can even think of one, not to pull on this banner. So as always, we'll start off with the reason why you should pull for this banner. Okay, so let's take a look at the first reason, which is you need a magic DPS, or just a DPS in general. Now, in all honesty, Ultimecia is a very well-versed character. So she has a AoE brave plus single target attack. She also has an AoE attack, so she's good for farming, she's good for single target, she's good at longevity as I have explained with her EX Plus. So she is a very well-versed character. So if you're starting off as a new player, you definitely want to pull for this character, and basically will help you throughout the entirety of your story content and whatever you want to do. And if you want to, you know, start clearing the hardest contents of the game, you definitely want this character. Now the next reason why you want Ultimecia, or you should pull for this banner, is you actually want to clear Deuce's Lost Chapter. Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest content, or one of the hardest lost chapters, at least the chaos fight as well, in the game. So if you're struggling with Deuce's Lost Chapter chaos fight and you need another magic DPS, you definitely want to pull on this banner and hope to God that you do get Ultimecia's full kit. Now the next reason why you would be pulling for this is you're just a huge Final Fantasy VIII fan and you want to complete all the characters from Final Fantasy VIII in your team. You want all of them, you want all of them max limit broken and viable for chaos, so you can use them and do a Final Fantasy VIII team composition. And that's basically it. And the last reason why you want to pull for this banner is probably something I mentioned earlier. You just want to start completing chaos fights. And like I said, Ultimecia is a very well versed character. She has the AoE, she has gravity, and she has longevity, so Ultimecia is ultimately going to be helpful in clearing the chaos fights, which are quite longer fights and of course quite hard, a lot harder I should say, than the Cosmos fight. Okay, so now let's talk about the reasons why you should not pull for this banner. And oh boy, it's actually pretty hard to make, I don't know, any reason at all not to pull for this banner. I guess the first one is, if you hate Final Fantasy VIII character and you hate Ultimecia as a character, you just hate her. You just don't want anything to do with Ultimecia at all. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons why you aren't pulling for this. I mean, even if you hate her, man, if you really want to start, you know, completing a lot of content, I highly suggest you still pull. But in any case, the next one is you're just not into meta characters. You just wanna do, you know, make do with characters that aren't meta, and you can still clear the content, you know, or you're just waiting for the next one. I don't know, man. It's really hard to make a pile of lists not to pull on this banner. Now, even if you have Squall's Ax Weapon already, I mean, I still say go for it. It doesn't matter because the prize is Ultimecia. Even if I say you have Cloud, and well, I just, yeah, just pull for this banner, guys. Just pull. All right. Anyway, guys, I think I will end the video right here. Again, remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember, I have a new goal at 1,200 subscribers by the end of the year, and every single subscribe button hit is definitely gonna help me reach that goal. And of course, with clicking the like button, obviously this will help with the YouTube algorithm. And leave down in the comments below what you think of this banner. Are you going to be pulling for this banner? And if you can think of one really good reason why you shouldn't be pulling for this banner, leave it down in the comments below and let me know. Make sure to follow me also on my social media. I am on Facebook and I am on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.